Greetings, greetings, greetings. In case you haven't heard, I am the Queen Love Bug number one. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome to my village, where everyone gets taken care of and no one gets left behind. Come on in, come on in. I'm putting the link in the chat. I'm going to attempt to put it in anyway. Just in case somebody just might want to come in. It's not going in, but I'll try to get in a little bit. But let's get down to the meat and potato of why we are here. I don't have time to waste, and this is not a scheduled live stream once again. As I told you, you just don't never know what you're going to get. We do not have any copyrights to this music, but I came in on Love is the Message because love is the message. And that's the word that we want to spread. So if you haven't heard the word on the curve, love is the message. I have a topic that I brought forth today because it's a topic that I get asked about so often. And if you are a man or woman of God and you are sexy, you probably get asked that same question. So you know what I decided to do? Like anything else, I brought it to the village. Because one thing about the village people, they keep it real. And they say what's on their mind, and they shoot straight from the hip. They don't never pull no punches. And that's what I like. And although some people may beg to differ, that's okay. We're all entitled to our own opinion. And with that being said, we don't want to dog walk anyone or mistreat anyone because they disagree or agree. In the mature world, we all understand that everybody is not going to think alike. And sometimes our experience can be different. So let's get down to the meat and potato of why we are here. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Praise the Lord. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's doing just fine. And as you found in, don't you dare forget to press that like. And if you're watching me on the playback, hey, you know the rules, press that like. I want to thank you all that come out and support the village. Okay, the question of the day is, can children of God be sexy yet classy? I'm often asked, especially by the younger generation, whether or not a Christian can be a sexy woman. They say, auntie, that's what most people call me, or auntie, or mama, or whatever, because I'm everybody's godmama, mama, or auntie. And they even done branded me the YouTube auntie, right? But okay, hey to all my sweethearts out there. I love all of you. At work, will stop by, drop the like. Thank you for coming in, Chris Cook. Thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to Chris Cook. Hello, James, aka James 615 is in the building. Y'all come on in and y'all listen up. Because this is an interesting topic today. And I guarantee you, if you listen long enough, you're going to learn something. Okay. Most of the time they say, auntie, for a woman of God, you got a little swagger to you. You got a little sex appeal to yourself. How do you find the balance? Because a lot of times, let's keep it real in this YouTube street. A lot of times people don't want you to have sex appeal if you serve the Lord. They want you to look like Aunt Esther. But we're not doing that. We're not doing that, right? It's a new day. And there's nowhere written in the Word of God where you have to look like somebody's old geezer or grandmother because you love the Lord and you want to be a child of God and have a relationship with God. Let's be clear. Now, have man made some man-made rules that they want people to follow, and if this is your ministry, these are the rules you set, and so on and so forth? Yes. I went to a ministry once, right? This was in New York, and the pastor said to me, He said, well, no one in this spot is allowed to wear red lipstick, right? So I went home and I was reading the Bible and I kept trying to find where it was written where you cannot wear red lipstick. I never found it, guys. I never found it. So now here's my rule book. And y'all get up close so y'all can really pay attention. If it's not written, it's not something. That's something that someone decided is a trigger for them. And he also had a rule that you couldn't wear fishnet pantyhose, right? That's a trigger for him. That's his stuff over there. Like the red lipstick and fishnet pantyhose. Pay attention now. Keep up with me. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm going to come walking up to church in some fishnet pantyhose. Let's be clear. But at the same token in time, if I'm having downtime, I just might decide to wear me some fishnet pantyhose because guess what? I don't see anything wrong with wearing me a few pair of fishnet pantyhose in the right setting because there's a time and place for everything. Keep up with me. I don't want to lose you. Okay. Now, there is things that I would not wear in public or to business or to ministry. Because once again, there is a time and place for everything. No, I'm not going to come to church wearing a cat suit with my stilettos and my little leather jacket and my little weed blowing in the wind, and I'm out here getting my life for the biker club. You understand? But if I'm going down to the biker club, I just like say, let me squeeze this up to that cat suit. Y'all get the point that I made. And now I want to talk about some men. Because I've seen men that have sex appeal and they look good. And they show a little muscles and they show a little bit of chest and, but not too much. They're not showing nipple or anything that's going to make you say, now come on, bro. Come on, bro. But I don't see anything wrong with people having a natural sex appeal. If you are naturally sexy, that's something that you were born with. I do believe that. And if you disagree, put it in the comments and tell me why. Okay, I have elders in my family. My mother is an older lady. She's in the 80s area, and so is her sisters. And they have their little sex appeal going on, and I think it's cute. No, they're not sleazy. No, they're not going to come out in the street looking like they lost their mind. But at the same token, they have their little look when they want to get out and look cute, and they look very beautiful. And I applaud women that are of a certain age and they still have something about themselves that says, wow, she's very beautiful. Patti LaBelle, yes, our legendary Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle is still holding on to that torch, honey. Patti LaBelle keeps herself well put together. And she's a woman of age. She's selective in her makeup and jewelry, her hairstyles. And I think that overall, she carried herself very nice for her older lady. Now, some people ask me, is there an age limit to sex appeal? I don't think so. Again, we're not talking sleazy. We're not doing sleazy. We're talking sex appeal. So let's explain the difference. Sex appeal is when you just have a natural aura about yourself and you carry yourself with a nice little swag. And for those who don't know what swag means, that just means attraction. And do what you do. And sleazy means when you cross the line and you're just showing too much. Stuff is hanging out of places it shouldn't be, and you're showing too many body parts. You're showing too much flesh. Let's put it that way. Because I think you all will understand better. I just say you're showing too much skin. You're showing too much flesh. Okay. For example, I have one a little top and I'm covered. But some people may say she's doing the most, right? So we're gonna figure it out before this live stream is over. I don't know how to be anything different than what I actually am. It's not something that you do, it's something that you are. And that is the difference. My dad, my dad was dapper. He wore suit every single day of his life. The only time my dad was not in a suit was when he was playing baseball. And that was long before we knew him. And I thought he was such a handsome man and he always smelled good. And I think when a man smells good, that's a whole nother sex appeal, right? Because different things can make a person sexy. To me, sexy doesn't mean, did I push my breasts up? Did I stick my butt out? That's not sexy to me. So maybe I might be confusing sexy with sleazy. So let's get on the right track with that, right? But I don't think there's anything wrong with a person being assured of themselves. Are you assured yourself? I had people ask me, Queen, why do you wear makeup? Because I've been wearing my clean face a lot more lately. And they go, why do you wear makeup? Because your clean face looks better than the makeup. And it's not that I wear makeup to camouflage or hide anything. I am 54 years old. I am a half a century. If makeup is something that I like to do and play with every now and again and be a doll, then that's one thing. And I'm not even one of them women, to be honest with you, that really play in makeup. Because I've never fussed too much over makeup. That's just never been me. I'll throw on a little brows and some eyeshadow and some lipstick and every blue black and a little blush, and I'm on my way. I really don't take the time to worry about, oh, do I have enough concealer or foundation or whatever it is that everyone is doing. I really don't care. And not that there's anything wrong with what everyone is doing. I just have never been that person that was, no, I don't like to pick at myself too much. Swoop swap and I'm gone. Even with a wig, I throw that wig on, position it where I want it to be, and I'm gone. And the thing that's really odd, right? When a man dates me, they always say, you know what? I always thought you was the type of woman that take all day to get dressed, but you don't. And you know what, guys? I really don't. I don't fuss over myself like that. I get up and I put on what I'm going to put on. And if I'm going to put on some makeup, I'll fling that wherever it's going to be. I know y'all have seen it in this live stream. And I just go. So pray for me with the makeup, guys. I've never been that kind of person that's particular and detailed when it comes to makeup. And I see so many of them on here, and they are so, amazing with the makeup, and them wows me lined up, and everything be art, just art. But I've just never been that. So yes, I do wear makeup sometimes, but I'm such an amateur. And I have no issues or insecurities with going without makeup either. And I don't think most people that wear makeup have insecurities with going makeupless. There's nothing wrong with it. And if you really are attracted to someone, you should be more attracted to their spirit, right? What the image project from the inside out, right? And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that you don't want to physically somewhat be attracted to the person that you see. But at the same token in time, it has to be bigger and more than that. So let's, get that off the table. And to all the women and men that go makeupless and you're in your comfort zone, shout out to you. Now, what are the rules when it comes to being too sexy? I want y'all to put that in the comments. What is your opinion of what are the rules to being too sexy? Because sometimes I might kind of push the envelope a little bit. So help me. As I always say, I help you, help me, help me. Because I'm not sure what the rules are. Because, for so long in my life, I never really followed too many rules. I definitely was a rule breaker. And since it's not actually written, help me. Y'all help me. Give me some ideas of what you all feel is just way too much when you're just doing too much. And I already know showing too much skin is definitely doing too much. And I try to definitely straddle the fence with that. I like to, show a tease, but not. So I get it. I get it. I definitely get it. I don't never want to just go too far. I am a grandmother as well as a mother, and I do want to respect myself. Let's put it that. Okay. Now for men, I see guys walking around shirtless, no shirt in public, and they got these muscles, 20 packs. He's not even gonna say 6 pack. Have you ever seen a man and he had all these rips and rumbles and you looking like, man, where you going? With your shirt off, you just got everything out there and everybody pass up all the time. So what I want to know from you all is when a person is out here and they're showing their biceps and triceps and rips and dips, is that too much? Or is that acceptable? Because see, there is a double standard when it comes to men and women. There's some things that men can do that women would just be chopped down if they did it. If I took my shirt off on this live stream, even if I had my brassiere on, people would look at me and say, "Oh, did y'all see the queen over there sitting up in that live stream?" And honey, before the morning, I would be cut in half and shared out all over the world. And if I never went viral a day in my life, I promise you I'll go viral. So you get the point that I made, right? You get the point that I made. So, okay, stay with me. If a man wears Speedos and their short pants and no shirt, and he's walking along in his little sneakers and showing off his muscles, is that acceptable or is that too much? And would you let your husband walk the street like that? Would it be okay? As for me, I think I like a man that's a little bit more conservative. Maybe a white beater. And for those of you who don't know what a white beater is, that's basically a t-shirt with the T-straps and shows off all of your muscles and so on and so forth. Would you let your husband wear a t-shirt with the T-straps? Or are you comfortable with your husband going shirtless? And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It all depends on the person, right? So we'll figure that out as we go along too. So if you're watching this on the playback, be certain to answer these questions. Another thing, as a husband, if you have a wife and you're going out for the night, and she running get her little black short dress, and she said, "Oh, tonight I'm feeling myself, and I want to put on my little teeny weeny black dress." Keep in mind, she's a child of God. Is that acceptable? Is that too much? Or is that something that you would say, well, okay, this is our downtime. She's covered. She's not showing too much. And let's go on out and have a nice time and hold her hand and walk out the door. Or would you say, honey, that's not appropriate. Take that dress off and put on something that covers you up a whole lot more because we're going out into public and you're just wearing something that may not be too classy for the people that are judgmental. Let's put that. Okay. And now, as the wife, would you keep the dress on, or would you go take it off? Which way would that go? Now, I'm going to tell y'all a secret about myself. I don't really wear extremely sexy clothes in public because I just don't like that type of attention. Believe it or not, I don't like when people are like, oh goodness, who is that? I really don't. I have a sex appeal, but I don't just if that makes sense. I don't like when men stand next to me and they breathe so hard I can feel them about to escape their own body on night that's all that can be a bit much, especially when you start getting older. And these men and women too. Don't forget the women now. 'Cause, they'll come walking up on you too. Hey, I keep on telling y'all, I tell the truth. Y'all know the women will come walking up on you. Excuse me. Okay, so when I go out in public, I do try to cover it up. Now, if I'm at home and it's my downtime and I'm dating and I'm behind my own private doors, then yes, maybe I may say, okay, this is one of the nights I'm going to, have a little skin showing, not too much skin, y'all. Don't use yourselves. But just enough to say, hey, I still got it going on. Don't underestimate me now. Okay. Until you older guys that's in the room or watching it on the playback, what I would want to know from you is, do you find yourself attracted to much more conservative women? Women that's kind of in the middle, or women that's just let it all hang out and tell the Holy Ghost truth? Don't you dare escape it. So, I want to get down to you, because when you're younger, sometimes you tend to have a little more edge than when you start getting a little bit older. And I talk to so many youths, and they love talking to me because, I joke with them and I have a good time with them. And that was the reason why I actually decided to bring this to the live stream, because they was picking on me, right, about me being a sexy woman of a certain age, because I'm only 54, I'm not 85, and I'm not dead. I still have some type of rumble in my jungle. Yes, honey, you got to keep up with it. So, Bone, Latana TV, welcome to the village. Hello, hon, to you. And I'm looking at your picture, and you look like you might have a little bit of sex appeal about yourself. So you might be right on time to answer a couple questions for me. I would like to know your age, and I would like to know where you're from before we start. Because, women, we get beat down for certain things. And the youth, they always tell me, they say, Auntie, you have a little something going on. But then I look at them and I pick on them. Thank you. You look good too, sweetheart. And from one queen to another queen, keep it up. Keep up the good work. There's nothing wrong with feeling yourself. You hear me? If you feel yourself, you keep feeling yourself. Because time is ticking on my clock, honey. And I don't care how old I get, as long as God gives me the will, I'm going to feel myself. So you keep feeling yourself, sweetheart. And, sometimes I see the youth, thank you, and they are wearing some cute little things. And I look and I be like, where you going in that? And I like to pick on them, especially some of my god grandkids and god kids and nieces and nephews and so on and so forth. I like to pick on them. I'd be like, where you going in that? You're not about to walk in the street in that. But I still think that can be done in a tasteful kind of way. If all your vital parts are covered, you may be okay. But you know when you are really out of here. And another question that I want to ask is, do you think a shared dress is appropriate for the club? Because someone asked me that question, and I didn't know exactly if my answer was correct. My answer said that I personally wouldn't wear no shared dress to the club. Because, child, if I wore a shared dress to the club, the folks would be like, now she needs to go home. She needs to take her butt back to the house, and she don't have not one friend. If they let her walk out in that street with them rolls rolling and all that stuff she got going on over there in that shared dress. We stand in some truth up in this village. But at the same token in time, I'm not going to say if you're small, you should wear a shared dress either. And the reason being, people are crazy. And I think that something to the imagination is still attractive. Something to the imagination. I don't like too much showing, but I do like a tease. So if you dating me and you got your little tease going on, I like that. But don't just let it all hang out and let it be all over the place because that, I'm not looking for that. Okay, now, feet. Okay. Feet can be sexy. Different things can be. Someone actually is feet sexy. They can be, depending on what you like. And do it have to be one particular type of foot or look? No. It depends on what a person likes. Some people like small petite feet. Some people like big old feet. Some people like hard feet. Some people like soft feet. So I guess it will be what you particularly like. So I hope that answers your question. Now, let's go to the married couples. I know y'all been waiting for us to get around to you. I will say this, and if you don't listen to nothing else I say, make sure you listen to this because we're going to save your marriage and we're going to keep your marriage. I believe there's a balance, and that's in anything we do, but there's a balance in being sexy, being classy, being conservative, and sometimes letting the wolf out, right? You have to know how to balance all of those different things out because it depends on who your spouse is, and knowing your spouse will let you know which category you will fall into. Every spouse don't want the same thing. Every man or woman is not looking for extras, and some is looking for just plain old Jane. Some is looking for a little more, a little less, so on and so forth. So knowing your spouse is the biggest art. But sometimes, ladies, I'm gonna tell you a secret. Get up close. Sometimes your husband don't want you to know that he like that freak stuff. So you have to remember to every now and again incorporate a little bit of it in, just slide it in just to see. Because you don't want him out there with the side chick because she done figured him out. There's so many men that they would say, no, I don't want my wife to be like that. And I get it. No one wants their wife to just be out there acting. She just got off the corner, right? But at the same token of time, every now and again, a surprise don't hurt nobody. And the reason why we're talking about this subject, why I'm talking about this subject, is because as Christian people, we don't like to talk about the subjects that may be a little edgy because we don't want the judgmental committee to attack us. I was in a young lady named 12 Bells live stream a few weeks ago one morning, very early in the morning. And she came to me also and she said, Queen, what about bondage and things of that nature? Is that taboo for a Christian to find that appealing? Well, have that type of lifestyle. And I told the young lady, I said, well, the bedroom is undefiled. And sometimes we forget that. The bedroom is undefiled. And what you do in your bedroom in the privacy of your own home as a married couple is definitely your business. And as another couple, if you're out there sinning anyway, hey, I'm not here to judge nobody. Like, we're going to let Jesus deal with that. But basically, the point that I'm making is that because you seek Christ don't mean that you may not have some desires in your marriage that may push the envelope with your spouse a little bit, depending on their morals, values, the way they was taught, the way they was raised, and the way they are wired. So you have to approach that subject and talk about it. Find out what are your limitations. What are the things that you're not comfortable with? What are the things that you may be comfortable with? And what are the things that is a comfort, even as far as attire, apparel, what you can and cannot wear. But another thing I want to ask you all, I'm looking at Katama, and she has on a nice beautiful hair out, and she looks nice. She has to have on a short dress, but it's not inappropriate in my vision. She's on the stream right now. How do you feel about the way she looks? Do you think that she looks too sexy? Do you think she looks appropriate? Or do you think she's somewhere in the middle? And to combo, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing your name. How do you feel about being a sexy young lady? And do you serve the Lord if you're still here? Well, people, the thing that I've learned in this life is you're never going to please everyone, no matter how hard you try, how good a person you are, how straight an arrow you try to walk. Someone will find something about you that they just do not like. So you have to live your life for the Lord, but at the same time, you have to be comfortable in your own skin. Because at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. Are you comfortable in your own skin? Not crossing the line, not being too derogatory, not being too much, but are you comfortable in the person that you are? Are you comfortable in the representation of yourself? Are you comfortable in the way you present yourself when you go out into the public? Are you comfortable with the type of energy that you get from the public? Because those things can give you an idea of how you carry yourself. Are you doing the most? Are you doing too much? Are you not doing enough? And it's okay to be a plain Jane. Because someone asked me that too. They said, well, is it okay to be a plain Jane? And I think it is. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a plain Jane if that is who you are. Because there are so many people that love a plain Jane. And I'll share a secret with you all. I like nerds. Do any of you like nerds? I don't know. I think there's something crazy, cute, and mysterious about nerds. Because let me tell you something about nerds. There's more to nerds than meet the eye. And let's just leave that right there. But nerds have some secrets that you might not know just looking, right? And I think nerds are cute. And I think I'm a secret nerd. I am in my own little way. I'm kind of a nerd. And I think nerds are so cute. If you like nerds, leave it in my comments and let me know what you like about nerds. And shout out to the nerds out there. And you keep doing what you do. Because it's okay to be a nerd. There's nothing wrong with being a nerd. We all have to fit in somewhere, right? And there's someone for everyone. It doesn't matter. Now I'm going to say this before I get out of here because I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. But I couldn't wrap this up without sending a special shout out to my BBWs out there. All my big, beautiful women. Yes, I did say my big, beautiful women. Yes, we have to represent too. Because just because you're a big, beautiful woman, do not mean that you are not sexy. And you know something? There's nothing wrong with having sex appeal just because you're a big, beautiful woman. And we have to remember that. And there's nothing wrong with it. Because let me tell you something, there's a whole lot of people out there that like them a big, beautiful woman. So if you're a big, beautiful woman and you out there, you make sure you make your way into them comments and say hello. And salute to you, sister. Because I'm not the biggest woman on the block, but I'm not the smallest woman on the block either. So hey, I gotta shout out the big, beautiful women too. Hey, somebody gotta make a lane for the big, beautiful women, right? Hey, it's nothing wrong with being a big, beautiful woman. And let your confidence shine through. And welcome to the village, BD Mom's Simple Recipe with your beautiful self. And it don't matter where you're from, or what size you are. Let your confidence shine through. Because if you're confident, it has a way of being attractive. And there's nothing I find more attractive than confidence. I think if you're confident, it shows that if you can't sell yourself, okay. So I'm going to tie this up in a nice, beautiful bow. And before I get out of here, I want to thank Chris Cook for coming in. Thank you, AKA J615, for coming in. To Combo, thank you for coming in. BD Moms, thank you for coming in. And for all of you that pressed the like, thank you for supporting this village. All of you that will watch this on the playback, thank you for supporting the village. To all of you that watch it from the porch, thank you for supporting the village. And for all of you that watch it on the share, thank you for supporting the village. And if you like what you see in this village, how about you come on by here, join, press the bell, and make sure you hit all so you can get the notifications when I upload and go live. Because I have so much more to talk about. And let me tell you something, the list is long. So don't you dare miss out. And don't y'all dare keep me waiting. And you know what I always say. As I end, whatever you do, don't you dare crowd chase. Because when you crowd chase, you lose.